Thanks for being here.
Well, I live here.
Yeah. So I've had a weird week and a half. We've kind of talked about it a little bit of coming back from our honeymoon. And ultimately, I think that when I haven't really looked back at the footage, but when I think back at what I think my brain has been doing, it's mostly the idea that I am not upset at all that I didn't work out over the past month while we were, prepping for the wedding, getting married, 2 weeks in Italy for our honeymoon. That was amazing. And I'm so glad that I didn't do organized exercise. But also throughout that time, I did have times where I was being pretty mean to myself, and I was looking forward to getting back into exercise and feeling strong again and looking a certain way in the mirror. And it's also been really interesting because we have been going to the gym again. We've been taking some CrossFit classes, and speaking for myself, it really did not take a lot of classes for me to feel strong again, Yeah. I don't know, I'm very interested and grateful that you're willing to talk about this a little bit, but I'm just interested in kind of what you feel about the whole body dysmorphia thing and how you have felt coming back after the honeymoon.
Yeah. Fair enough. Open-ended, an open-ended question. Yeah, I mean, even to go back further, I think the interesting part is, at least as far as I'm concerned, is we had probably 3 months of pretty disordered, or I had pretty disordered exercise and routine that was different than normal. June, July, and August.
Not normal, not disordered exercise, but
out of our normal
yes,
order.
Okay, yeah.
Right, which is out of our normal routine. We were traveling, we were going to weddings, we were in Wisconsin for a month, we were planning our own wedding, we were honeymooning. It was a lot.
Yeah.
And it was stressful. And it's we were certainly running around,
absolutely,
metaphorically, but not much so on purpose. And I really wasn't, because there wasn't time.
Yeah.
And I think the tricky part is over the past 3 years, I've really found that having a routine and having exercise be an important part of that routine, 3 or 4 or 5 times a week, has been very helpful. Just keeping me kind of mentally stable and on track, and feeling at peace with myself. That's been a very good tool for me to use, and not something that I had really developed or really invested in until probably 2020.
Yeah.
And so that was a pretty tough adjustment, and also wedding and honeymoon planning is very stressful.
Yeah.
So I've been very happy to get back on track routine-wise. But I will also say this, and I think that this is something that I've had to deal with, just speaking from my own experience as someone who, is an actor and works commercially as well, and is often kind of public facing with their appearance, having to wrestle with what it means to be expected to look a certain way or work out a certain way, and sometimes at the drop of a hat,
Yeah.
I am very fortunate that and again, just from personal experience, we did not have scales in our house at all. My mom was very big about that, as far as I can say from personal experience. And I think other people would agree, experts would agree. Weight is not necessarily the best measurable factor for our health. So I don't weigh myself. We don't have one here. So that's a very easy way for me to kind of separate how I'm feeling from a number that doesn't necessarily affect how healthy I am.
Yeah.
So it's been kind of a lifelong journey of, separating what my body can do for me in terms of, it's a tool,
Yeah.
It allows me to run and jump and move around and play characters and, do an ad for a pajama company. And I'm grateful for it, for that. But it is only that, if that makes sense.
I think that does make sense. One of the things that I've been grappling a little bit with is that for years I've kind of preached in Pridefit about focusing on strength and performance and, and not as focused on aesthetics. And I think that part of the reason why I was a little scared or nervous when we came back was that I realized that even though I was saying those things, I was placing more emphasis on my appearance than I kind of thought I was, because it wasn't, a 90% performance, 10% aesthetics thing when I got back,
It felt like you were missing something aesthetic?
I was kind of prioritizing aesthetics more than I meant to, and more than I thought that I would, I thought that I'd be able to, after all of this time kind of away from the gym, stick to these more holistic goals, you know, and instead, they really crept in even though that's something that I try and, stay very far away from,
Yeah, because I would assume, and I can speak for myself kind of, that like the strength and conditioning loss, we can get back to that pretty easily.
Yeah.
But not like moving in the way we're used to and spending, 2 weeks in Italy eating Lord knows how much pasta.
Yeah.
You will start to look different, and I think that that's okay. And,
Yeah, I totally agree. And I think that it really feeds into the body dysmorphia of it too, because part of that body dysmorphia is also this cognitive interference that's saying, if I get out of shape now, as I'm getting older, I'm never gonna get back in shape. And that's like the other thing that's like so not true, but our brains like to say like,
Right. We just can't listen
slope.
to our brains so much.
No, totally. But it's scary, Our brains definitely try and bring us down.
Right.
Like that.
And I found coming back, as soon as I can get back into the routine of moving my body 4, 5, 3 times a week, those voices in my head start to get a little bit quieter,
Yeah.
Not so worried about them.
Like very quickly. That
Being said, I do not regret the way that I spend my time in Italy or during the honeymoon. I feel like we were able to spend a lot of time with family that otherwise would have been spent in the gym or running around or biking somewhere, and I feel like adding in structured exercise to Italy would have been tough and really taken away from exploring the country.
Especially when you think about like how much we were moving throughout those entire 2 weeks. We didn't actually need exercise.
No.
It was just like the mental, like, were we exercising? No.
We weren't sedentary.
No.
But also like
30,000 steps a day is not sedentary.
No, right. But it's also like a good reminder to all of us that like routines are important and they help keep us on track. And speaking for myself, they help keep us like emotionally and physically and mentally on an even keel, which is really important.
Yeah.
Routines also have to change based on life experience. When I was in Boston for 3 months, I wasn't going to the gym. We couldn't. So it was a lot of running and a lot of yoga. And you just have to kind of embrace the change in routine. And Italy is another change in routine for a little bit. And that's okay. And being too tied down to one routine that doesn't change with us as our circumstances change can also be pretty tough. And it very easily lets us be pretty hard on ourselves.
I think it's a perfect example of always needing to find balance in health, because alternatively, I look at your Florida vacation where you're at a resort for a week. And
my Florida vacation.
You're a general Florida vacation, you're at a resort for a week. Is it disordered for you to do 30 minutes in the gym each day? No, you can do whatever it's all about like the balance of it, right? And we decided for Italy that we weren't gonna do that. Also, there are no gyms there.
No gyms.
Not that we wanted to go anyway, but there really are virtually not. But I do find that it is so much about balance of like, is this vacation your time when you're really resting your body and you don't need to do any exercise at all? Or is this a vacation, that you've been having a few vacations lately, so it was a time that you could, move your body for 30 minutes, 3 days of that week, like that's fine too. But the balance of it is the hard part, I feel like.
Right. And knowing that like we like to move and like to be moving around, and thus scheduling in a vacation, planning a vacation in which we were moving around a good deal, walking a great deal.
Hiking.
Is important to us and like helped us feel our best selves on vacation, I would say.
Yeah.
Most relaxed I've ever been for 2 weeks.
Yeah, me too.
Read so many books.
So many books. Thanks, Bubba.
Thank you. Love you. Gonna go for a run in Central Park now. How
oh
beautiful.
My God.
Almost
Amazing.
fall.
Okay.
Love you.
Love you. Bye. Sorry, I'm so sweaty. It's like 100 degrees in New York City right now. I feel weird about my fitness, and it's funny because I'm truly could not be happier about getting married. The wedding was incredible. The honeymoon was incredible. And I think the past month to 6 weeks, honestly, has been really eye-opening for me. I haven't had a period that I didn't pretty seriously exercise for more than a week in like the past 5 years of my life. And I didn't exercise really at all this entire time with the wedding. And this gives me a lot of cognitive dissonance because I wouldn't change anything. I'm so glad that I didn't work out during the wedding and during the honeymoon, but all of the things that I try to encourage our members to think about in Pridefit kind of came up while we were on our honeymoon and, during the wedding and whatever. I would step out of the shower and I'd look at myself in the mirror and I'd have to work so hard not to just like be so mean to myself and say like, what the like, you look horrible. Even though I know from working with y'all for so long and doing my own training that, a month of missing the gym, even though it seems like a really long time, is not going to make that big of a difference in how your body looks. Mentally, you may think so, but all I wanted to do was be so mean to myself. It was very difficult to avoid that. When we were in Italy, we were walking so much. We were doing, like 30,000 steps a day. And you look at, we do so much strength training, you, me, Jared, and that addition of lean muscle mass that we get from strength training makes us burn so many more calories when we do the basics like walking or climbing stairs or whatever, right? I was eating so much pasta, so much pastrami and prosciutto and cheese and wine, and I didn't gain any weight, right? I was calorically neutral, I think, because I didn't gain or lose weight when I was there, but it's still hard. And I think that sometimes when I'm in my routine, I diminish what it's like for other people because I just didn't really remember what that experience was like. So that all to say, I'm very excited to get back into my routine. I'm not, scared of it. I just miss it. I missed going on runs and I missed strength training and I missed taking a class. It's all great. I'm gonna be really sore. I'm gonna try and take it easy, but I'm gonna do my first workout since we got back. And, I'm gonna be really sore tomorrow, I know it. But I'm gonna try and take it slow, stretch afterward, work out tomorrow because it's really important for us to get those muscles moving. And I'm just gonna consistently remind myself that I need to be kind to myself and I'm gonna get it back, right? Last thing I'll say, I was talking to a friend of mine and he was going through kind of a hard time with his fitness journey. And we were talking about this, what I think probably is a pretty universal feeling where we have this sense of impending doom. If we look at ourselves in the mirror and we see that the results are going in a different direction than what we wanted them to go, it's really hard to turn off our brain from saying, well, that's it. You're never gonna come back from that. That's really scary. That's been kind of like this, that was the scariest part on the vacation, was kind of thinking like, what if this is the slippery slope? What if this is like you falling out of love with fitness and with moving your body because like you haven't been doing it consistently and like you just like don't get back into it and you don't reach your goals and you don't lift heavy again, and it's not true. We're never done. You can reach your goals whether you are 25, whether you're 75, right? Goals are gonna be different, but our bodies are amazing and they're always gonna work with us. So we gotta get rid of that fallacy, right? We gotta be kind to ourselves and not let our brain take over too much. Okay, that's enough of that. Let's get into some workouts. Okay, that was way harder than I expected it to be. So basically the workout was 4 rounds for individual time. So you did 1,200 meter assault bike, 12 strict pull-ups, 50-foot walking lunges. I used 50s in each hand, and then 25 ab mat sit-ups. Then you're supposed to rest for as long as you need to try and keep your score like pretty consistent. So I got 4 minutes and 13 seconds for the first round, and then 4:30, and then 5:13, and then 4:48. And I took probably about a minute and a half rest in between each round, a little bit less rest for the last round. I tried really hard to take it easy. Like I'm just aerobically very out of shape, and that's not what I'm used to being. Normally my aerobic system is like pretty good and like strength is lacking, but my heart was just pumping way faster than it should have been pumping. So it's really hard to like maintain any pacing. I'm happy to get that one done. I think I'm gonna be pretty sore tomorrow from the walking lunges, but we're gonna do a workout to shake out that lactic acid, make sure that I don't get too sore. I'm sure I'm going to be sore tomorrow, but I'll be more sore if I don't work out tomorrow. So we're gonna do it. I'm gonna coach some classes. This is the first step. Being kind to our bodies, easing our way back into exercise. Let's do it. So it is day 2 of going back to the gym after my little hiatus, and my body feels pretty sore. My glutes are sore from the lunges, my abs are sore from all the ab mat sit-ups, but we just did a little workout, our first workout back at CrossFit NYC, which is my old gym that I used to coach at. It was one of my first gyms that I ever went to, so that was fun. Here's a quick little workout. I tried really hard not to push too hard, but it is kind of wild. I am definitely sore today, but I already feel so much stronger and I feel so much more confident just getting into the gym 2 days in a row. It goes pretty well with what I was saying yesterday, that, you know, these feelings feel like they're going to last forever, that if we don't achieve our goals today, that we're never going to be able to achieve them. But getting back into the gym, those results really do come back fast. So I'm gonna be playing some volleyball tomorrow, gonna take it easy on Sunday, and then we'll be getting back into some programming on Monday. It's gonna be great. Today, I'm gonna be going to my favorite coffee shop, and I'm gonna be working on a couple of things. One is what we're doing for the launch of Pridefit app. Pridefit app is launching October 3rd. It's our grand launch. We have a waitlist right now, and we have different features that we're adding every week so that people who are currently in Pridefit can test them. But we need to figure out exactly what we want to do for events and everything for launch. So I'm gonna be kind of brainstorming that and talking to the app team about what we want to do. We've got a lot of ideas planned. And then also I just need to brainstorm kind of the content that I'm gonna be making over the next couple of months. And that's for YouTube, and that's for Instagram and TikTok and all that stuff. So I'll be looking at different brands that I'm gonna be reviewing. I'm gonna be looking at new workouts to do and everything in between. It's gonna be great. So worked out on Thursday, worked out on Friday, played volleyball on Saturday, rested on Sunday, and today's Monday, and I just worked out. So working out is going pretty well. My body is still quite sore, but I'm slowly but surely getting back into things. I'm feeling confident in my body, which is great. I haven't really given myself many opportunities to not feel good. I'm not really like staring at myself in the mirror. I'm not weighing myself. You know, one thing I did want to bring up was a couple of people in Pridefit have been talking about weighing themselves recently. And historically, I've been pretty against weighing yourself. I find that there are much better progress points that you can measure in order to see if you are making progress than just weight. A lot of times our weight can fluctuate because of water weight or because of different things that we're eating or different how much we're sweating. Any of that is going to make a big difference in what you see on the scale, right? And I think the really big thing we need to remember is that we do get a little dopamine rush when we step on the scale and we see a number that is in a trajectory that we prefer. For a lot of us, that is when that number goes down, right? But we also get so stuck when that number is not in the trajectory that we wanted it to go, and it can stick with us for weeks. So we get that tiny dopamine rush if it's good, and we get a giant negative if it's bad. And this is just another reason why I feel like for many of us, not stepping on the scale is a good call. Some people can do it in a really healthy way, but a lot of us just aren't there. So for me, I don't step on the scale. Maybe once or twice a year I will, like when I get weighed at the doctor. And lately I've just had to kind of be in self-preservation mode. I know that I'm not exactly where I want to be with my fitness and with what my body looks like. So I just need to be kind to myself. I need to not give myself the opportunity to tear myself down. And that has made this last week of getting back into fitness much more positive for me. So let's see what's in the rest of the week for me. So having just gotten back from Italy, I have so many workouts that I have planned that I now need to film. So that's probably gonna be a big part of my next couple of weeks. I can only do so many filmings per day. So I need to kind of get into the gym, get time in the gym, because obviously there's always people around, and I'm going to be filming those workouts to be put into the Pridefit app. Never a dull moment with Pridefit. We are launching October 3rd, and I'm so excited for it to finally be released to the public, and we have so many really amazing things planned for you. So that is what my next kind of week or so is going to look like, and I'm also going to bring you along for some of my workouts as well. Okay, I'll see you in a little bit. Really, I'm just mad at myself. You know, I've been working out for the past week, and I looked at myself in the mirror after I took a class and was like, oh, you look exactly how you used to look 6 weeks ago? Why have you been freaking out? And it's so true. You know, our bodies fluctuate in how we look so easily. If I take a picture after I do a workout, I look so much different than when I take a picture before a workout. I hate that I was so hard on myself. It just doesn't make sense. We all do it, but 1 week back at the gym, and that's all it takes.